Happy Sunday and welcome to Season 3 of Dear Black Girl. My name is Brielle and this is my first year on the DBG Dream Team.
Welcome to the team, Brielle. We are so happy to be back this season with new team members, exciting guests, and great conversations. Before we begin our season, please welcome to the show our founder, Cordelia A. Banny.
Awesome job, ladies. Thank you so much for being with us. To our viewing audience, welcome to Dear Black Girl Season 3. We are so excited to be back. Throughout the summer, I received so many phone calls and text messages and emails asking about Dear Black Girl. We have not gone anywhere. We are still here. The girls are still brilliant. They're amazing. And our guests this season are electrifying. They are going to transform the way you have conversations in your homes, in your schools, at your dinner tables. We hope that you will take these conversations from Dear Black Girl and that you will implement them, bring them into your homes. Ask your daughter, ask your son how he feels about what's happening in this world, how she feels about her body image. We want to make these conversations easier for you. And so welcome to Season 3. As you all know, Dear Black Girl started in 2020 when myself and my mentee, Kendall, read an article from Georgetown Law that talked about the adultification of Black girls and how a study showed that Black girls, starting at the age of just 5, are seen to need less nurturing, less support, less care. And obviously that is not our reality. And so we wanted to create a space, especially in the middle of a pandemic, especially while there was so much racial unrest at that time and still, we wanted to create a space where girls could feel safe, they could feel brave, and they could feel that they were in a community where they could be themselves. Out of that came this 6-week conversation series. We've done it once, we've done it twice, and we are here for the 3rd time to engage with you, our audience. We're so grateful to have you. As you know, Dear Black Girl is completely free to each and every girl. They receive merch, they receive access to speakers and mentors, and this year, we are so excited to provide a Dear Black Girl scholarship to our Dream Team. And so every Dream Team member is eligible to win this one scholarship, but we couldn't do it without supporters like you. And so I am asking you to join us, hold hands with us, and let's make this space a great place for as many girls for as long as possible. If you are willing to give today, I ask you to go to dearblackgirl.us, hit that sponsor a girl button, and bless these girls with a significant contribution that will assist them in all the goals that they have for this year. Also, please share this. If you are watching on YouTube, hit subscribe right now, hit it right now, hit subscribe. And also, if you are on Facebook or wherever you're joining us from, please share this broadcast because there is someone in your community who needs this information, someone who needs to know that Dear Black Girl is on. And not only are we on, but we want to give them the opportunity to have these conversations in their own homes. Now, we are going to get started. 6 weeks of conversations. This is week number 1, and we are starting with a topic, She Did That. And we are celebrating Black women and girls who are making their mark in the world, who are inspiring and equipping us not just to work, but to rest. And so we are so grateful for our guests today. But the only people that I could think of to introduce this guest better than me are my girls. So let me bring out Peyton and Michaela, who will lead this segment. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Coco. Hi, everyone. We're so excited to tell you about today's segment. She Did That. Today we are chatting with Chef Mariya Russell, who is the first Black woman to receive the Michelin Star Award 2 days before her 30th birthday!
Chef Myra grew up in Springfield, Ohio, where she spent most of her time with her family and fondly remembers enjoying the comforts of homemade food that made up every meal. She also developed a habit of watching and learning from cooking shows with her mother and aunts, which led to her discovery that food could be more than what had grown up eating.
She moved to Chicago, received her culinary degree, and began working in the field. She spent over 10 years working her way up through both front and back of house positions, building a reputation of excellence.
Welcome to the show, Chef Mariya Russell. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you,
Chef Mariya. Chef Mariya, how did your culinary journey begin? How did you transition from passion to profession?
So just like you said a little bit earlier, it all started when I was pretty young. Before even I was in school, I would, watch cooking shows with my family members and just, be in the kitchen in that atmosphere with my family. And I was really, really very drawn to that. So later on, while I was in school, in high school, I had the opportunity to do a 2-year program, my junior and senior years of high school, in the culinary field. So I was able to work in a student-run restaurant for 2 years, and that really gave me a different perspective on food and cooking, and I was really, really excited about going into the field after that. So because I had the opportunity and experience, I was able to kind of see myself working in the industry and kind of moving forward from there with it. So yeah, that's pretty much how it started for me.
Awesome. You are the first Black woman to receive the Michelin star. Can you share the significance of that huge accomplishment?
Of course, yeah. So this is something that felt extremely empowering, but also at the same time a little bit disheartening for me. Mostly because just looking at the timeline, it'll help you see the difference between what the Black experience was like during that time compared to what the European one at the time was, because the Michelin Guide, they started reviewing restaurants in 1926, which was 95 years from now. So that's almost 100 years ago. And so at that time, Black people were still not really considered human then, even though we were a huge part of developing this country. So I know that there are so many people, specifically Black chefs, that have paved the way for me and us to do what we want to do with our lives. And a lot of people just don't know what their names are still. So it's an amazing accomplishment, but it's also very complex at the same time.
What is perfecto? Chef
Mariya.
Oh, Chef Mariya, what inspires your creativity? Do you ever run out of creativity? And if so, how do you refill your well?
So for me, a lot of things that help me to maintain my creativity are thinking about and leaning into the things that I personally love and enjoy about myself and about what I do. Also, just a lot of reflection on my past experiences and where I come from at the same time. And another thing would be traveling and eating. These things are like, that's my jam. I love traveling the world and eating all different types of food. It's really inspirational for me and adds to my culinary experiences. So of course I definitely do run out sometimes, and that's just a huge sign for me that I'm like neglecting something in my routine, or I'm not getting something that I need. And so I just do some check-ins with myself and make sure I'm getting enough rest, drinking enough water, taking my vitamins and stuff like that. And sometimes I literally just stop and take a break and don't do anything for a little while until I feel replenished. I feel that, you know, stopping is a huge step in my self-care journey, you know, because sometimes we can just get in this, you know, rut of going. And my sister, she just tells me, you know, that we're human beings and not human doings. So I try to, you know, add that to my daily journey.
Wow. Amazing.
Such a great answer. As a Black woman, do you ever feel pressure to make your mark in the stereotypical space like soul or Southern food?
Surprisingly, no. I actually didn't feel that pressure, and I think it's mostly because when I left home after high school, I didn't have anyone telling me to go in a certain direction, and that helped me to figure out for myself that I wanted to learn everything I possibly could about all types of food and not just a certain type. And I was capable of doing that, and so that's what I did.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Chef Mariya, Chef Mariya, where do you find the courage to pursue species where you may be the only Black face or voice even more? How do you own your voice and unique talent in those spaces?
So this is a really awesome question, and I really appreciate the ask. So at a young age, I was really encouraged by my parents, you know, to see life in a different light. And I was raised to be able to stand in my Blackness and not shrink for anyone, you know, and not feel like just because I look like this, I am less than. And so that translated into my adult life, you know. So if I believe I can do something and I have a passion for something, and I see it, I see myself doing it, then it's not about what anyone else thinks or says, does, or looks like, to me. And for sure, all of these things are sometimes distracting, and it can be scary and intimidating and disheartening to have those feelings, you know, about the spaces that you insert yourself in. But they're very valid feelings to have, and recognizing those feelings is really important. And also just knowing that it's okay to be vulnerable, you know, it's totally okay to be vulnerable. And if I have a passion and a vision, I try not to let anything stand in the way of that, even my own fears. So I feel like being vulnerable is hard, but it's a constant reminder of growth for you, you know, that you know you're vulnerable and that's okay. And growing from that, you just level up every time. And all of that leveling up then gave me the confidence I needed for the next thing I was going to do that would make me feel vulnerable, you know. So learning how also to just learn my own my own voice and truth and talents, that has been difficult at times, but it's really important to me to be able to go into, you know, any kind of space and feel like my authentic self all the time. So it's important, and it's something that I work on every single day of my life. It takes practice, but here I am, you know, I'm here doing the work, and I'm better for that.
All right. Any advice for Black and brown girls who want to pursue a career like yours, especially if your parents are encouraging them toward traditional careers?
Of course, definitely. And the first thing would be to make your passions known to your family members. You know, let them know what you're passionate about, what you love doing the most, where you see yourself going in your future. I think it's so important to have these conversations with your loved ones, because you're the one that's going to be living this every day. You're the one that's going to pursue these dreams, not your parents. So that's number one. The second thing I think would be monitoring your own feelings and checking in with yourself on a daily basis, just to make sure you're taking care of yourself, even with the littlest things, like drinking water, and making sure you're eating and nourishing your body, just because it's really easy to get caught up in work and the things that you're passionate about and just kind of slip away from yourself. So just being aware of your self-care, every day is also something really important. Following your gut is another piece that I would say that's really important. Like if something isn't feeling right for you, taking the steps to figure out why it's not right, and figuring out what to do next, figuring out what to do about that to change your situation how you want it to be. Next, I would say not to put limits on what you're capable of. You're only limited by how you limit yourself, and don't let anyone dictate that. Like, don't let anyone sway you on your own capabilities, because you can literally do anything you want to do in life. You can do it. And lastly, please don't let your fears keep you from doing anything. This is something that I have struggled with my whole life. Just fear coming up and trying to, sneak in to discourage you from doing something that you feel really passionate about. Even when things are challenging, like, we are equipped to do anything we put our minds to, and we can achieve anything we see ourselves achieving. So if something's scary and hard, just know that it's important to be aware that you are scared and you do feel like you're having hardships, and that is okay. Just knowing that even in your fear, you're still very, very capable of being the best at something.
Never let something control you from doing something what you love.
Exactly.
Very good advice. As someone who has done the work and achieved so much, how do you care for yourself? How do you avoid the pressure to do the next big thing?
So I've learned that I do need somewhat of a routine in my life to feel pretty grounded and balanced. So I have a morning routine that I try my best to follow. Sometimes I don't get there, but it's definitely something that I try to do to help my brain and my body feel grounded. And resting is a huge part of taking care of myself, that I have taken more seriously the last couple of years. So those are some things that I definitely incorporate into my life to help my self-care journey. But as far as the pressure goes, I do a lot of redirecting. I don't avoid those feelings. I just redirect it to a more positive space. I feel like, that pressure will pretty much always be there. And just because the way that I'm wired. So for me, it's about focusing on the things that I love doing and redirecting those feelings to, like I said, a more positive space, instead of following, feelings of pressure and worry. It's more productive for me that way. So it's still, don't get me wrong, it's still, I still have my moments, but redirection helps a lot.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice for Black people? Wait, never mind. What is something we should be asking you about food or nutrition? that we don't know how to ask?
I would say I think it's important for us to be more directly connected to the food that we eat, mostly by knowing where it comes from, and I think that it's very empowering for us to know these things in order for us to properly nourish our bodies.
Wow. Michaela, it's your turn.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. You received your Michelin star at the restaurant you recently left. Any advice for how to leave a place that has been good to you but no longer serves you?
Yeah, so I made the decision to leave before we even started getting any sort of recognition, because I knew it was what I needed. So I would say I was very, very sure in that decision. And I think it's important to feel very sure in any big life decisions that you make, just so you feel good about it no matter what happens. And knowing what you need, but not necessarily knowing what's next is okay. Just a lot of times in your life, you'll have to just embrace uncertainty. And that's a huge part of what I did and what I do. And just knowing that is okay. Getting what you need out of life is the most important thing. And that just became my number one priority. So I fought for that over everything.
Very nice answer. How can our viewers stay connected with you? Do you have any products we can support?
So thank you so much for asking that. I really do appreciate that. I am working on a few projects, and I do definitely suggest that everyone please follow me on Instagram, and stay tuned for what's to come. I've like I said, I've been working on some new things, so just look out for some updates very soon.
That's good. Thank you, Chef Mariya, for sharing your amazing journey with us. You did that. And we are so proud of you. Now we're moving on to our second segment. To introduce our segment, please welcome Morgan and Alexis. You got this, lady.
Thanks, Peyton. Great interview. Our next interviewee is a phenomenal teenage entrepreneur who is making her mark in the hair care and hair accessory industry.
13-year-old GaBBY is the CEO of Confidence. At the age of 7, she and her mom, Rosalie, invented GaBBY, the first and patented double-faced, double-snap array to save families time, money, and frustration.
Since 2014, GaBBY has filled online orders to all 50 states and in the US and in 10 other countries. GaBBY bells are also carried in select Target stores and other retail stores in the US, Canada, and South Africa. GaBBY was named a 2015 South Carolina Young Entrepreneur of the Year, the youngest to ever receive the award.
GaBBY is engaged in all aspects of the business, from inventory to speaking at schools and businesses, business conferences, and helping with sales taxes to writing thank you notes to every customer who orders products online. She also hosts the GaBBY Playdate to teach girls in children's shelters about entrepreneurship.
Welcome to our show, GaBBY. We are excited to dive in with you. Today's show is about encouraging girls to celebrate their confidence and successes. How did you become the Confidence CEO? How do you continue to choose confidence in a society that can make us feel self-conscious?
Well, hi everybody. I am Gabby Goodwin. As they said, I am the CEO of Confidence and the inventor of GaBBY. How that came about and how I now am the Confidence CEO is I started when I was 7, as I said before, in 2014, and I've been able to grow from not just hair products or barrettes to hair products and things like that, and not only just creating products for Black girls, but also setting an example for them as well. Whether that be I'm going live or I'm being an example for them to look up to, so that they can, follow their dreams or be who they want to be. So that's how I'm able to, not only say that I'm a CEO of confidence, but also embody that as well and grow in my own confidence. I was shy when I first started my business, and now I'm able to be outgoing and more self-aware of, me being confident in myself before helping other people. And that's also one thing that you really have to help yourself or love yourself first before you start, loving other people. So that is a way that I am able to um, not only be a CEO of a business named Confidence, but also embody confidence as well.
Awesome. What advice do you have for Black and brown girls who are afraid of their light?
My advice for those girls who are afraid of their gift, their passion, or their life is just take steps that are one step at a time. You can see a lot of people who either you see that they've done all of the success or been able to be this big person who they are now, or you see them on social media, things like that, but it takes steps. And to be able to get to where you want to go, or achieve that dream that you want to achieve, you can be able to um, take small steps. So for me, when I started my business, what we first did was, we created a video, and then we created a website so that we could, so people can know about our brand. And then if people were selling or were buying the product, then we're able to um, ship them and find out how we were going to be able to sell orders or to ship orders, things like that. So it doesn't always take everything, doesn't always have to be rolling all the time 24/7. Take it as slow as you want to, and then just being able to, again, step out of your comfort zone a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot, but if you're scared of speaking, you can speak in front of your classmates first in the small classroom environment, or even in a big school environment like a pep rally or things like that, and do things out of your comfort zone that are helping you to get to where you want to go. But again, you don't have to do everything at once, and just take steps at a time to make sure that you're ready for the next level.
Exactly. Take your own pace, right? So my next question has three really important parts. In your entrepreneurship journey, have you ever failed? What has failure taught you? And how do you recover from disappointment and maintain your confidence?
Right. So you will always hear different um, rejections and things like that. It comes with a part of life. It's not just with entrepreneurship, but it's also with a lot of other workforces or things like that. And I think that with rejection, I've heard rejection since I was 7. Um, so with rejection, I've been able to grow my resilience, and I've always been a resilient person. As a young Black girl, I kind of have to have that on me. But as I was able to grow up in such a also one male dominated industry, and then also you didn't see a lot of minority owned businesses such as Black owned businesses or Latinx businesses, LGBTQ owned community businesses. So there's a lot of basically have two minorities against us already, and that was able to help, or through that, or through going through being at businesses and from business conferences or being in a boardroom with a bunch of white men who didn't understand anything about hair care for Black women was something that helped me grow in my resilience and become the tough person that I am today. And I mean, if you aren't exposed to rejection at a young age, it will um, come back to you when you are, an adult in the workforce. Somebody says, at a job interview. So my parents have always told other parents to reject or to expose your children to rejection, and not just to hold them back from everything. But disappointment can also be very, disappointing in a sense in the word. But it's something that also can help you grow in your resilience and grow in your um, help you become tougher. And I mean, you have to be tough no matter what, but not everybody. You don't have to be tough all the time. Letting your emotions also, pour out. Not pour out. Some people like to cry. Some people like to talk. Doing whatever you feel, um, but also know that it's not the end of the world. So I think with disappointment or with any failure, rejection, anything like that, um, being able to let your emotions out. It's okay to cry about it. It's okay to feel sad about it, but then also get back up, realize that it's not the end of the world, and then you're able to go on into the next obstacle.
Good to know. How important is community when you are achieving great things? How have you qualified your circle, choosing friends, etc.?
Sorry, the community or community is very important. I think that you have to have a village around you. It takes a village. You hear a lot of people talk about that, saying whether they're athletes or whether they're business owners or whatever they do, you will hear them say it takes a village, and it really does. So I mean, my business is a family-owned business. Me and my mom, are the founders of it. My grandma does orders for us. And then we have, family and friends coming in occasionally helping us with that. So the village has been a very important part, and it's not just my family and friends, but it's also the people locally around me. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, so a lot of the people here helped me jumpstart into national things. Before I was on the Real or the Harry Show, I was on every single news station we had here in Columbia, and same thing with radio shows and everything like that. Vendor shows as well. I've been able to go to the Tom Joyner Morning Show, sell, but I was doing local shows here at like HBCUs and things like that. So being able to have that community around me, the mayor and just the entire political system here as well, they've been really supportive. So a lot of people think they need to go big or really get national attention first, but starting with local attention will help you a lot, and that will catch the eye of national people or regional people. So community is really important. I think for choosing friends, especially for young girls like me or like teenagers who are in high school or in middle school, choosing friends, that you may have a lot of friends, from elementary school or things like that, that you were close with at school. But as you grow up, some people start to change. Everybody changes, and I think that with me, being able to choose the right friend group is something that is very beneficial and something that's important for me. Because I do like a support system, not just my family, but also people my age or girls or boys my age. So being able to figure out who's right for you, who's right for you. Not everybody is your friend, and you will learn that as you grow older. But figuring out being friends with people that are um, interested in the same things as you or have the same goals as you is something that is. And also, I don't want to say alliance, but like, hey, if you see other Black girls, we gotta support each other. So, being able to support them is something that I, really taken into consideration. I've had friends since I was, in first grade, and we're still close. So being able to choose the right people and also have people who are supportive of you, don't have people who are jealous, and it will obviously show, whether you're talking about something and they're just not listening or tuning you out. That shows jealousy, and you don't really want to be around those type of people, especially if you want to become successful.
I love like all the things you said, especially about community always being important, because I totally believe in that. And you were right, not everybody's your friend. So you've recently encouraged your parents to purchase a hair salon and quarters and a headquarters for your business. So can you tell us about this process and what you would say to a young girl like me with a big vision?
Right. So we did just purchase a headquarters for, I guess, our family as well. It's not just for me. It is also for my dad, who is a comedian. So he has his office there. He is recording there as well. But it was one thing to be able to say, oh, I want to start a business. So I want to, I want to sell barrettes or things like that. I mean, but we were working out of our home for about 6 years. So when the opportunity came up, it wasn't just for me, but it was also a benefit, or it wasn't just a benefit for us, but it was also a benefit for my dad. So it was, it was something that we wanted to do, something that we seek counsel for as well, through our church, through our pastors, and we were able to get a building, which we're super grateful for. And then we have offices in there. We have our orders. So we do orders in our building now. We don't do them in our house. And that is something that we've wanted to do forever. So we are able to have that. We are able to have media rooms and inventory rooms. So it's a really big monument for us. And being able to push my parents to do that. I mean, I've been nagging my parents about, business ideas forever since we started the business. So being able to know that even though your vision may be big or things like that, just knowing that even if other people don't believe in you, your parents should believe in you the most. I know that sometimes some people don't have those type of parents, and but being able to have good parents who look after you, who care for you, and mom tells my other parents a lot to not discard your children's ideas. Even if it may seem outlandish, it can still be, one of the next good things. So this is not all. One aspect is for the children to, voice your opinions, to voice your ideas, but then also for the parents, knowing that your child will have a lot of ideas. And they may also always sound outlandish, but if they are always talking to you about it, if they really care about it and they're passionate about it, and you can see, then really take it into consideration, because that's really the whole story of our business as a whole. So just really listen to your kids, and then also kids or girls, really listen to your ideas, your passions, and figure out what you want to do.
What role has humility played in building your confidence?
Humility has been something for me, a big thing for me. I've always been humble, and I know that you can't really, people can say that they're humble, but they aren't. But I consider myself to be, um, and it's helped me grow in my confidence, because even if people may not know who I am, if I walk by people at school all the time, or I'm in class with them and they don't know that I'm an entrepreneur, um, that kind of, there's like a feeling inside of me where I'm like, oh, I seem like a normal person, but I'm kind of not. And I don't want to say that's the ego boost, but it is very exciting to be able to tell people about yourself, but in a humble way, not always boasting about it 24/7. But like, if people want to know more about you, if people want to be inspired by you. If I'm able to share my story, because I know I've shared my story with a few of my new friends that I made in high school, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so inspired by you!" Like that. That's a confidence boost. Like it's really fun to hear that. It's really exciting to hear that. But it comes at the right time. So being humble about your achievements, about your accomplishments, people may ask about them, and you can say, "Hey, I made this grade on the test, or I made a 100 on this test." Or I made it on the sports team, or whatever you do or whatever you strive for, but not always putting that achievement in people's faces 24/7, and that will not only help you, or won't only help you and your humility, but also help your reputation with others. If people see you as a humble person, as a person who doesn't boast 24/7, they will come to you um, for things, or they will talk to you about things. And that can also boost your confidence as well when you're talking, or when they come up to talk to you about things. Um, so being humble can help you with your confidence a lot, and it can also help you with just being a good person overall. But again, don't hide your achievements. Just don't boast about them too much to the point where people always think that you're talking about what you do and not talking about what they want to do or what they're doing as well.
Don't hide it, don't boast it.
I'm sorry, was there a question?
Have you ever encountered any jealousy or resistance from people you thought would celebrate you? How do you overcome that?
Um, I don't know if I have, and if I have, it might have been very subtle. But I know that other people can, deal with that. And I'm glad to be around good people who don't really feel jealous of me. That also plays back to the humility part. But if you are dealing with jealousy or resentment, or for anybody, or if anybody is, I guess, hating you, then just knowing that you're who you are. I mean, uh, it's really a simple fact. I mean, if somebody was to come up to me and talk about that I'm really not doing anything, then I will show them the proof. I mean, that's also one thing too. I'm really humble, but I I won't play around if somebody thinks that I'm somebody that I'm not. So that's one thing as well. Um, be humble, but also let people know who you are. That's really one thing that I've been told, or something that will help me with any sort of jealousy or anything like that. And then that also, helps you in the aspect of, knowing who you are, knowing your worth. That's something that's really important. And some people can talk you down a lot and think that you're somebody that you're not. People can call you ugly. People can call you unsuccessful, or anything like that. But knowing who you are, knowing your worth will help you a lot in the long run. And knowing that people can talk, people can say a lot of things, but just knowing that you have, um, you know, you have the power that you have, and nobody can take that away from you.
Thank you so much for speaking with us so honestly today, GaBBY. Your success is a motivating light for us all. In our final segment, we're going to bring out Kendall and Marguel, who will join me.
Thanks, Alexis. Morgan. Great interview. When we thought of all the women and girls we could celebrate it for our We Did That show, we we realized how many of our very own exceptional Dream Team members fit the category. For example, I recently received an award for Magna Cum Laude, where I held an average of 98 for the entirety of the 2020 to 2021 school year. Women girls, especially Black women girls, are often taught to celebrate their accomplishments quietly, so we don't seem ignorant or overconfident. At Dear Black Girl, we are cultivating a generation of girls who are not ashamed to celebrate their achievements, and even more are thrilled to celebrate with each other. So for this segment, we are celebrating Marguel and Morgan, who both recently accomplished great things. To interview them, please welcome Peyton.
Hi, ladies. Marguel, recently during one of our GaBBY private sessions, you shared a major accomplishment with us. Can you tell our viewers what that was?
Hi, Peyton. Thank you. Of course, I would love to share. Recently, a chart was posted on my school board called the Academic Community Excellence Program, or for short, ACE. ACE is a program for students with an average of 90% and over. I discovered that, like in my ninth grade year, I was listed, but instead of fifth, this time as a sophomore in my 10th grade year, I was listed third out of the whole school with an average of 98% and a GPA of 97.14. Peyton, you're muted.
That's fantastic. Morgan, you also shared a bit about your newest endeavor. Can you share a bit of that with us as well?
Of course. In school, I've been selected to be in a program called Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is basically a sixth grade honors program. Most people in Metamorphosis were in a program called Quest in fourth and fifth grade. To get into Quest, you would have to get an above average score on the grade 3 COGAT test, which stands for cognitive ability. During fifth grade, which was my last year of Quest, I took another COGAT test, and that test told me that I was in the 98th percentile of people my age and people in my grade for academic achievement. So in sixth grade, I got into Metamorphosis. Next year, I hope I'll be in honors.
Congratulations, Morgan. Way to go. Marguel, why is it important to share our wins with one another?
That's a great question, Peyton. I think it is important to share our wins with not only our family, but our friends, because the support we receive motivates us to push ourselves further, to accomplish greater things and to set our goals higher. And who knows, we could even be an inspiration to others to achieve greater things also.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Morgan, how do we keep from being jealous of one another when we see our other sister winning?
I remember that what they have is meant for them, and what I have is meant for me. Instead of bringing others down, I should help them up, and as I hope others would do for me. I believe that God gave us our own special talents so that we could help and prosper, not harm. After all, you probably have something that person that you're jealous of doesn't have either.
God is good, God is good. What advice do each of you have for young ladies who seem to be dimming their light out of fear? Marguel, you go first. Morgan, you go right after.
Awesome question, Pei. My advice is to just overcome that fear. Believe in yourself when others don't, because at times there might be people who want to bring you down, saying things like, oh, you can't do this, or you'll never make it in life. Just shut out those voices. Focus on yourself. Take care of your emotional health because words like these damage your well being, making you start doubting yourself, saying, oh, maybe they're right, maybe I can't do this. Just think positive things, even though there might be negativity around you. Always be optimistic. Prove them wrong because there's nothing you want in life that you can't achieve. Just believe in yourself, work hard, and you will accomplish your goals.
That is so amazing, Marguel. Morgan, you could go right now.
I would tell them what I try to tell myself every day. Fear is not an option. Every night I tell myself and I pray that God hasn't given me the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And what that means is that we can do anything that we put our minds to. Don't let others dim your light just because you think that their opinions matter more than yours. Well, they don't. You might let others think that you're talentless, but really that's up to you. So don't dim your light, let it shine.
Thank you both so much for sharing your accomplishments with us. We're so proud of you, and we hope that you guys go on to bigger and better things. Wow, what a show it's been. So much celebration and support. To close us out today, please welcome Bria and our newest Dear Black Girl member, Carlene.
Thanks, Peyton. This has been my first show on Dear Black Girl, and I'm so inspired by this community. Please share this episode with someone who needs the reminder that their light is motivating and should never be dimmed.
Thank you to each one of you for joining us in our Season 3 premiere. Please tune in again next Sunday, where we will be discussing What Are You Afraid Of? A conversation about mental health and wellness. Have a great week. Bye!